Let's continue as the new tertiary academic year is about to kick off. Many matriculants are considering their future career options. So the tech industry is booming in South Africa. But how can young people navigate this exciting yet complex field? So joining us this morning to chat further is Mvelo Hlophe, CEO of Zaio, an innovative online learning platform that's bridging the skills gap within the tech industry. And so on that note, Mvelo, good morning and thank you for joining us at this hour.
Good morning, Lisa, and thank you for having me on the show.
Firstly, perhaps given the current state of the tech industry in South Africa, the opportunities that are also available to South Africa, to young people at large, perhaps you could speak to that terrain that is on offer.
So, over the past couple of years, we've seen a boom in technology opportunities growing. So, we've seen many people shift their careers into the tech space because of the opportunities that we've seen both locally with startups and large organizations hiring more tech talent, as well as opportunities abroad. So the world has increasingly become more dependent on technology, and as a result, it means that we need more talent in the space. So as those opportunities grow, we've seen a shortage as well in terms of the talent that already exists in those spaces. So what we've then seen is that there's been because of that shortage, not enough people moving into the tech space. But that presents an opportunity for young people now to be able to then actually study something that relates to the tech and then actually get a job within the tech space because, they're always hiring.
Well, so let's get into that because Zaio's online learning platform, it addresses the skills gap within the tech industry, and perhaps you could speak to how it sets itself apart from traditional education pathways that are on offer currently.
So right now, individuals go to universities and enter a program that will last anything between 3 to 4 years, sometimes even 5 years. This obviously takes a lot of time for you to move from being a matriculant and then you to actually starting a career and start earning. For a lot of people, they don't have the luxury of that time. So with the boom, I guess, of online courses, it presents that opportunity where within a couple of months, maybe 6 months, sometimes even 3 months, you'll be able to upskill yourself, have all the knowledge that's necessary and the skills required to actually start your career within the tech space. And that's how Zaio has presented itself to the market, where we train you over a shorter period of time, about 6 months, with our flagship courses. And then from there, we help you get your first interview so you actually get your foot in the door when it comes to starting your career in tech.
You speak about tech skills that are in demand. What are some of those most in demand tech skills in South Africa right now? How can matriculants then acquire them?
I think maybe if I move away just even from that word tech skills, I think let's call it IT or ICT skills,
Okay.
where this is more related to skills where you're using your computer to obviously speak to the computer itself, to be able to run programs and build applications, as well as communicate with systems to be able to achieve an outcome. So in a broad sense, that's what tech skills are. So what we've seen specifically within the tech industry is that we've seen software engineers or software developers become highly in demand. And even then, there's a whole host of other careers within that realm where you can be a front-end developer, back-end developer, full-stack developer. And I know I'm using jargon now, but when you get into becoming a developer, you're able to then navigate your way through all of that. There's also data engineers or data analysts that we've seen a huge boom in terms of opportunities being presented. And I think a lot of people have heard also about cybersecurity, where because now we are living in an increasingly technological world, there's threats that sit out there where if systems or technical systems aren't necessarily prepared and built the right way, we have people like those cybersecurity individuals that will then protect those systems, especially against cyber attacks and to protect people's information, as well as anything that lives on the internet.
Well, so the platform is there. Talk us through the process of enrolling in a Zaio course, what students can expect from the learning experience, but also the cost factor involved, how that is mitigated against, how it also enables them after the 6 months.
So, going to our platform, it's basically zaio.io, so that's zaio.io, and when you're there, it's pretty intuitive. So you actually just create your free profile. Once you're there, you're able to navigate through the courses that you're looking for. So right now we have for software engineering as well as data science. We are launching cybersecurity later this year, as well as even digital marketing. So once you're there, you're able to then enroll into the course depending on when your cohort starts. So we run cohorts throughout the year, and then they have a start date, and you learn with other learners. So that's very important to us, where you're not just learning doing self-paced courses, but you're learning in a cohort, and then there's peer-to-peer learning. Okay. So every week you do live classes with your lecturer, and then you have live tutor support as well. So when you're stuck on any concept, you're able to then contact someone and speak to a human to help you navigate whatever you're going through. I think when it comes to funding your studies, we have a couple of options. So one of them is to self-fund, where you pay the full amount, but we also do have installment plans for individuals that want to pay over a longer period of time. We've also partnered with financing institutions. So I'd say they're almost like alternate funding institutions, where it's not your traditional banks where you're applying for a loan, but rather they look at other criteria, where sometimes some people may have been rejected by the banks to actually access a student loan. They then look at your credit score, they look at other means in which to basically gauge if you can pay, and then they help you then pay for your studies, and then you can enroll in a Zaio course that way.
Mvelo, thank you for speaking to that and those offerings as well. I wonder, with the ever-evolving landscape as well, how do you keep up to date, staying plugged into obviously the trends, the patterns, and just staying relevant to what's evolving in the world at large as well?
So I mean, we're constantly engaging with employers, right? So one of our promises is that first interview when you finish our courses. We need to make sure that every individual that goes through our courses is well equipped to be able to take on any opportunity within industry. So because we have that close relationship with employers, we then see from the employers what skill sets they're looking for, what are the trends within the workspace and in the space of IT that are changing that we need to be aware of, and to be able to equip the learners with as they're going through our content. I think one of the things that we really stress as well is that lifelong learning. Yes. We understand that we're with you for 6 months. But it's highly practical within those 6 months. But one of the things that we look to impart on when it comes to our learners is, after this course that you do with us, are you continuously updating your own skills? Are you continuously learning to stay relevant in the market, to access other opportunities that might not be available right now?
Well, but just very quickly as we wrap up, any success stories that come to mind for people in this space after graduating from Zaio? Anything you'd like to share?
There's quite a few. The one that comes to mind is an individual named Kate. So she came through one of our courses actually last year. So she was in a program where she learned practical skills, and then she ended up becoming a data analyst for one of the large banks now. So we've seen multiple success stories similar to this. We've seen individuals move from other careers to the tech space. And we've seen another one where they were a security guard at some point, and then they moved into the tech space. So we've seen quite a few people's lives change and access tech opportunities through the platform.
All right, so Mvelo, we wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for joining us and sharing your story. CEO of Zaio, Mvelo Hlophe, this morning chatting about some of the insights, the opportunities available within the tech industry, and of course the Zaio platform, how you can also get involved and in touch there.